Last so long, I must have superpowers. Rap 225,000 hours. Get it calculated. Do the math. I made 1,000 that made you move your. And for the past 300 months, I made 16 albums with me on the front and they bump. Boom. What's going on, y'all? Hello, America. Hello, world. Hello, you. It is your new best friend, Cashmere, California. And this is the Pod is Good podcast, aka the Notorious PIG, episode 35. Pod is good. And all the time, if you know, you know. If you don't, you'll learn. Keep listening. Today, I'm bringing back one of my guys, one of my closest friends, my brother from another mother, land of time. Stop. My guy, Roger Drakes, is here, reporting live from Barbados. Oh, we about to do something different today. I hope y'all are ready. I hope everybody brought the swim trunks. I hope you packed a bag with all your favorite belongings, because today we're going to Barbados. Let's go. Roger Drakes, what's going on, my guy?
Hello.
Welcome back.
Hey,
Welcome
hey,
back.
man. What's good? What's good?
Yo, it's good to see
Thanks
you,
for having
man.
me.
Definitely.
Yes.
You look at, you're shining right now, brother. You're glowing. You know what I'm saying? You got that island sun sparkling off you.
Yeah, man. I'm in paradise. I can't deny that. I'm in paradise right now.
There you go.
Circumstances, but I'm here. We'll get
There
into
you
that.
go.
Feeling the too short intro, by the way,
You like that?
for those who know. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
those who know. Arguably his biggest song, would you say?
Man, maybe. Definitely as of
Maybe
late.
his biggest.
Definitely as of late.
Right,
Sometimes I go
right,
back
yeah.
to that Life is Too Short, because I feel like that was a really
Mm,
big song from that. Life is too short and that's terrible. Commit suicide.
right.
Like, I feel like back then that was a massive song for him. But Blow the Whistle might
Right.
be his biggest crossover joint ever.
Yeah, exactly. Because Blow the Whistle is all over the world.
Everywhere. Everywhere.
Worldwide, whereas I don't believe his earlier records was,
That's true.
underground or
Yeah.
US mainly,
No, you're
and
right.
then
You're right.
underground elsewhere. So,
You're right. Looking at it that
but
way, you're
yeah,
right. I would definitely say Blow the Whistle is his biggest joint, because I'm pretty sure people know Blow the Whistle and don't even really know Too Short. Like,
right, exactly,
so
exactly.
yeah, yeah. All right,
It's
let's
just
see.
once that beat comes on. So
Let's see if he remembers it. Pod is good,
all the time,
and all the
pod is good.
time. There you go.
Pod is good.
Pod is good, my guy.
Yeah.
So where you at? Where you at today, man? Let the world know. Let the world
So
know the
right
truth.
now
You don't
I'm
want me to shine.
here. Right now I'm reporting live from Barbados in the West Indies.
Mm,
For those who are not familiar, just think Caribbean islands, Jamaica, Trinidad, St. Lucia, south of Miami, etc., the Caribbean Ocean. That's
yeah.
the region. Um, and it's a special place. If you've never been to this part of the world, very special place. Not just for me, but just once you come here, you'll understand why I say it's a special place.
Yeah.
Um, my family, uh, I'm a first generation Brit, so my parents are from right here, this tiny little island. You know, I don't know the exact dimensions, but it literally is 35 to 40 minutes in any direction, and you've covered the land.
Oh wow.
35 to 40 minutes max. So it's not bigger than LA, for example.
Wow. Wow.
Definitely not bigger than Los Angeles County. So so yeah, this is the spot, man. This is where all the uncles, aunts, nephews, cousins, this is where they
Yeah.
at. They're
So
all
you at home.
around
You
here,
at home right now. You eating good.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You
yeah,
getting that family
yeah, exactly.
loving.
Exactly. And I've
Yeah.
been coming here since I was 3. So we're talking 53 years of
Wow.
visits. Yeah.
That's respectable. That's
Yeah,
respectable.
so
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 I've never
yeah.
been to
Yeah,
Barbados.
exactly. So
I know most people probably haven't. I haven't been to Barbados, so you kind of were breaking it down geographically. I do want to make sure we get that locked in? I know you said Caribbean, south of Miami,
Mm.
thinking
Yeah,
Trinidad,
exactly.
Jamaica. So what is it?
Yeah,
What is the
a
most
little,
popular city it's closest to?
um, country is
Country.
Jamaica.
Jamaica. Okay.
Yeah, Jamaica is definitely Jamaica. So that'd be like it's about an hour plane ride. What would be
Hmm.
northwest
Okay.
from here.
Okay.
So it's almost like it's almost like a moon shaped belt of islands. And
Hmm.
there's some so small I don't even know the names of them. Some are so small. But obviously Trinidad and Tobago, St. Lucia, Barbados, obviously Jamaica, Grenada,
Is a
a
Grand Turk
bunch of them.
that in there?
No,
That outside of it.
Grand, yeah, Grand Canaria is close.
Okay. 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 Because I
Yeah,
know
Grand Canaria is close.
I know one year, me and the wife went on a cruise in the Caribbean. They had like the Eastern Caribbean and the Western Caribbean. I can't remember which one we did, but I know we went to like Grand Turk. We went to Puerto Rico. We went
Okay,
to
so that's the west.
that's the West. Okay, okay,
Yeah, that's the west. Yeah, and
that's
Barbados is more northeast.
got it, got it. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so further down. We're almost heading towards what's down there? Uh, Guyana,
Okay.
down kind of
Yeah,
that way.
I kind of know where you're saying, but you're saying
Yeah, exactly.
northeast further south.
Yes, exactly. I
Okay.
wish I pulled out a map. I wish I pulled out the map, but yeah, it's there. Pull out your maps, people. Get a map out right now. You'll see
Yeah,
where I'm at.
let me do that for him. Let me do that for him. You just keep
Yeah.
telling us more about it. Um, so Barbados is that the country or the city?
Country.
Okay, and then what city are you in?
It doesn't actually have it doesn't actually have cities like that. It has what's known as parishes, which is just a brief quick history. Okay, basically Great Britain used to rule the world, as you know, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and they colonized major areas of anywhere they found land. They would say, "Oh, this is ours," kind of thing.
Hmm.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Barbados was one of those places, along with all the other islands. So Barbados was actually a British colony up until basically up until in the 60s when it got independence, but only recently it's completely split from Britain. But throughout all the years it was always part of Britain. So
Hmm.
therefore lots of the names and the way the country was formulated and everything was um, mixed in with British culture. See what I mean?
Gotcha.
There's a lot of stuff that used to happen. Some stuff I don't know about, but I know it was one of the major ports or hubs for labor, the shipment of labor from Africa into the West, more slavery, obviously,
Uh-huh.
and and yeah, basically it's taken all these years for it to just become its own standalone independent country, completely free from any British tags. Even though when you drive around the island, you see lots of British names and British streets, and even my name is British. See what I mean? That's how you know my. You
Right.
know, I don't know what ancestors of mine was brought here, but they certainly weren't Roger Athelston Drakes, which is my name,
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right? Exactly. So okay, so the Drakes part and the Athelston part are definitely they're British. If you look them up, they're old school British names. So that's you know we came. That's how we came to be here. That's in the same way as you know your heritage is you know America probably started in the South somewhere, right?
Yeah. Basically.
Exactly. So yeah, there it is right there, small island. I can't tell you anything about population and all that good stuff right now because I don't know, but I know it's small, and it's one of the places where you know families know families and
Mm.
where people know people know people, and since probably since probably the 60s or 70s, it's been primarily a tourist island. In the same way as how Hollywood, say how Hollywood thrives off of the film industry, and how the
Right.
film industry is a major financial contributor to, the state of affairs in Hollywood and LA as a whole.
Right.
Right. Barbados is tourism. You know what I mean?
Got
The
it.
money
Yeah.
that pump the money that comes in every year helps run the country and helps keep the islanders employed, and so many jobs, and
Right.
this and that good stuff. And because it's a beautiful place. For one, the climate's beautiful. Obviously, it has like some of the best beaches you'll see anywhere on earth, period. I've been around, so the beaches are second to none, like golden sand and clear blue water. Um, and obviously, it has great culture, great food, great heritage, all that good stuff. The people are really nice, and it doesn't have some of the same kind of level of risk as some places that are also beautiful, but they're
Hmm.
just different, like people don't take vacations really to places like Haiti as much as they would go to somewhere like Barbados,
Yeah.
just because of it's just not as known for the tourism, and they have a lot of political things that sometimes can make the climate a bit more intense. Jamaica's had its problems too as well, um, but Jamaica still happens to be one of the best places to go on earth if you're traveling. I
Yeah.
went there this year as well. But yeah, man, it's every time, like I said, every time I'm here, it feels like home. It's just like a vibe, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. It looks
You know what I
incredible.
mean?
Just looking at the photos
Yeah,
right now,
yeah.
you see it, and like a lot of this countries that are in the Caribbean, you see the disparity and the difference in like the areas that aren't designed for tourism.
Mm,
You know what I mean? And then the areas that are tourist heavy, you can see where the money goes.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. There's still very third world looking parts of this island where, like, you could literally blow someone's house down. If you blow hard enough, you could blow someone's house down,
Hmm.
literally. Um, and people don't have much. See what I mean?
Yeah.
The west side of the island is a little bit more affluent, and that has some of the fancier hotels, nice homes, whatever. And that's where a lot of the high end kind of visitors stay more and invest more. Like if they're gonna move to Barbados, they'll be in there. And just getting back to what I was saying about the names. Okay, Barbados is the country.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? People associate now, obviously made famous or made more popular now by Rihanna, who is the biggest name to come from this country ever.
Yeah.
Period.
Which is crazy.
It's a shame it had. Yeah, exactly. I mean, prior to that, there was a couple of famous cricket players, but other than
Hmm.
that, not really anybody. And each area is named after a parish. Um, obviously, Christian rooted island.
Yeah.
So therefore, each area is a parish. So right now, I'm in Saint Philip. The main area is Christchurch,
Hmm.
and then you have Saint Peter, Saint John, Saint James, all over the island. It's all cut into different parishes, and those aren't huge areas because it's not a big place, but
Yeah.
it's kind of indicative of where you know Western civilization was when these places were being founded, in terms of Christian values. You know what I mean?
Right. And so were those
Which
names given to those parishes based on just like a respect level, or was it like that particular person, like that part of the country was kind of carved out for them, or was it kind of like how we would like
no,
name the street Martin Luther King Boulevard?
yeah, it was more like naming, but it was naming from biblical references.
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, every parish is like a biblical reference, and there are churches, like loads and loads of churches in every parish. So
Hmm.
if you drive around the island, you'll see some of the oldest buildings here are churches.
Dope.
And then every Sunday, just driving around, you hear lots of gospel, you hear preaching, you hear church services. Literally, like just on a Sunday, if I come out here on the porch of the house, I can hear
Uh-huh.
down the road a church, and I can hear across the street a word coming through the radio.
Wow.
See what I mean? This place is
That's
like
pretty cool.
150% Jesus sold.
That is awesome, man. How does that
Yeah,
how does that
I
feel?
think
How does that feel being in a place like that, especially coming from, living in Los Angeles where, you got to go find your Jesus. And then when you find him, you better make sure he the right one. So then you
right,
go
right, right.
there and it's so holy and so, God centric, it sounds like. How does that feel being there as a believer?
Great, great. You know what I mean? Great. I
Yeah.
mean, put this way, the older generations, which is kind of me, my generation, but also more so my parents' say generation. Those are the roots of everybody in this country. See what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's good that they have that grounding. Now, some of the younger generations have gone a little bit astray, as written, as predicted. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We know about people walking away from the faith, etc.
True.
Obviously there's music, there's culture seeping in. There's a lot of American stuff, culturally, obviously here as well that everyone really enjoys, but obviously with it comes some other things that aren't necessarily in line with the core values of Christianity. Um, and there's crime, and there's robberies, and there's some guns, and there's
Mm,
some murders like anywhere else, and all that kind of stuff. There's a prison. It has all that regular stuff. So it's definitely something that's on the rise, that side, whereas more the core roots and values and stuff is something that's, I guess, dying out.
mm.
But I ain't, but that's the same with everywhere, unfortunately, and that's the
Yeah.
same. That's almost like that's kind of like how it is, and how it's playing out right now. See what I
That's
mean?
true. Yeah, that's very true.
It's kind of like
It
how it's
probably
playing
hits
out.
home a
Yeah,
little different. It probably hits home a little different in a place like that, though, where it's so prevalent. Out here,
yeah,
as people grow into this new personal spirituality, and less religious, less gospel, less biblical, basis of
mm,
their life, it we're so spread out and there's so many people that you kind of don't really notice it until it you know builds some momentum. But out there, because uh like I said, the focus on Christ is so potent, I'm pretty
mm,
sure that change is felt very readily, just being in on the
yeah.
island.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And basically, in the press and the media, when you watch like local TV and stuff, it's noted. It's very noted that the changes are happening, and
Mm,
you know, they're fighting to bring things back the right way, but it's a tough battle. It really is. And it's going to be that. I mean, from what I've personally taken in and read, scripture wise and biblically, it's not a losing battle because of the war's already won. But
right.
the actual battles themselves are going to be gruesome for believers.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
literally,
yeah.
just they'll from what I understand, there'll come a point where even being a Christian and loving God could get you killed.
Right. And so
You
being
know,
there, like, because you're like from there, pseudo from there, but you're also,
mm,
an out of
yeah,
towner. You know what I mean? You're also an outsider.
yeah,
So as
completely,
you
yeah,
look at it,
completely.
yeah. So as you look at it from your vantage point, do you feel like, man, I can see what's going on? 'Cause, sometimes being on the outside, you can see the solution easier than somebody on the inside. So when you're there, do you ever feel like, man, if they could do this, or if they could stop this, or if the
Mm.
people would come together and start focusing on this, like, is there any solution that ever pops in your mind or in your heart?
Um, I think if it was more similar to some of the African nations, and the African nations' stance on their own culture remaining, you know, their own culture for their people, as
Yeah.
opposed to letting in all these outside noises come in from other places, different ideologies and ideas, and all disguised as progressive and
Yeah.
very good for your country.
Yeah.
The reality isn't really that.
Yeah.
Um, and as much as some of those countries have quite radical ideas, and they're very strict about what they how they want to police their countries. I think they do have the right mindset as far as not just being dictated to by America or Canada or Britain, you know, or any of these other places. You have to, democracy is all about the people of the country
Yeah.
deciding what's good for themselves ultimately, right?
Yeah.
So and that's ultimate freedom. See what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think Barbados could probably adopt a little bit more of that, but it's tough, man. Them Air Jordans and them videos, and you know that the culture. It's a young the culture spreads, and it
Yeah.
changes the dynamic of the people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're playing Sortie, City Girls, and all these different records. I can't. I don't even know the names. I'm old school, but you know the names. All these songs.
Yeah.
I won't say the obvious, like Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion and
Yeah.
etc. etc. All that stuff culturally is deeply ingrained into the youth, and the youth are the next adults. The youth are
Yeah.
the future bosses, and so
Yeah.
so they're growing up with a different kind of they're growing up with a different moral ethos, totally different.
Very different.
It's all left and all liberal, and anything goes, and side chick and less marriage, and you know
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah. So you
You
guys are
know,
going through like
less
you're going through like a spiritual and cultural gentrification. It's like
yeah,
it's like
exactly,
the new
exactly,
ideas, the new directions, the more progressive thinking is coming in, and it's
exactly, yeah.
changing the core of the country, which is sad because it's places like a Barbados that for us that don't live there, when we hear it, there's like this beauty to it for being unique of what it is and what it's been, and having this this depth of history. You don't want to look at Barbados and it just looked like Miami. You know what I mean? It's like, no, no, no.
Exactly, and the thing is, yeah, and the thing is, it was never broken. There was nothing broken about the culture in a place like this. Education levels were super high. Kids are super well raised, polite, well mannered. They all wear school uniform. School uniform here is standard, everybody. So there ain't no
Right.
kids bopping with their pants hanging and
Yeah.
looking out or whatever. How what I mean? Everyone, because it's part of the youth, part of discipline, which is
Hmm.
which has always been a thing here. See what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's how I was raised. My generation was raised before, in a time where you could discipline your children. I mean, you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
didn't spare the rod and spoil the child. You know what I mean? You use the rod. You know what I mean? I'm from
Yeah.
that time,
There you
and
go.
I swear I believe it served us very well. Whereas now, here and other places, you can't even talk to your children, let alone physically, reprimand them.
Yeah. 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 I know
They'd,
exactly
they'd,
what
they'd
you
have some people at your door. Yeah, have
Yeah.
some people at your door asking you questions about how you're raising your family. You know what
Right. Right.
I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's
it's but it's still a beautiful island. We should have. I wish I'd have brought my some gear, because then I could have done this whole cast while moving.
yeah, that'd have been dope. That'd have been dope. Now
while
you
while
hold on,
moving
you
through the
brought it
island.
up.
Yeah.
You brought it up a minute ago, like kind of towards the top of the episode. So I need to
Mm.
know um
Yeah.
how much of this new youthful shift and change and liberal idea and progressive thinking, how much of it do you blame on Rihanna? Because if you're saying Rihanna
Um.
is the biggest name to
Oh
come out
yeah.
of Barbados, and Rihanna is right there with some of the names that you listed, she's
Yeah.
a direct conduit into that music industry culture. to the youth. So how much do you feel like she actually has a part to play in sprinkling those seeds across the grounds of Barbados?
Yeah, totally. That's it's a tough one because she's the biggest name. You come in the airport when you arrive here, you'll see a big, massive, like 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 how you see a Barack Obama or Biden or whatever the president. When you come into certain airports in America, it's like, yeah, welcome to America. Here's our president. Here's our welcome to. In Barbados, you see Brianna.
Wow.
When you come into the country, you see a picture of her. You know, um, so she's a huge influence. But
Huge.
but it's
Wow.
funny. It's funny when kind of like the politicians and people on that level, when they're looking into somebody to represent their country or promote their country, they're just looking at numbers, power, influence.
Yeah.
They're not thinking of what kind of influence. They're thinking of, okay, well, she's got access to the world. She could be our tourism head of tourism or whatever. Give her some title. She's got a great title, actually. I think she's a Commonwealth. She has like a Commonwealth title or something really high up,
Hmm.
that they just gave her.
Yeah.
And basically they're thinking of all the numbers, or how many times she can mention Barbados in interviews and post on her Instagram with 50 million followers or whatever. They're
Right.
not looking at the video where she had the woman in the trunk, tied up with all the blood in the trunk. What was the song called? Do you remember the song, Rihanna?
I
Uh,
don't remember what
be
song that
be
was.
be better be better have my money.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, that's it.
You remember?
Yep.
They better have my money. Right, right, okay. And that's just one example
Right. The song that was
where
written by a teenager.
was it really? Was she a
Yeah,
teenager?
yeah. The girl that wrote it, I think, was like 15 or something like that. Like
Okay,
maybe even 13. She was a young girl.
okay. I didn't even
Yeah.
know that. But yeah, I mean that's just one example of many, which is the music industry. We touched on it in the last cast we did, which is the music industry, the influence, the direction it takes, how it's very, it always really promotes like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But then the artist comes along that's a bit more pure, has a more spiritual message or a more uplifting, empowering type of message. That's not really what gets the bag. You know what I mean?
Right. Now I'm gonna ask you a
Not
question
really
because
what.
this is like the age old music question that really applies, kind of like across the board. But we'll apply it to music because I do still feel like it's a relevant question that people should hear
Mm,
different answers to, so we can kind of start to figure out the truth. But a person told me a long time ago, if you have a dog that only
mm,
eats um, wet food, right? He only likes canned,
yeah,
moist food. That's all he'll eat. And then one day you go out and you put dry food out, he's not going to eat it. And the second day you go out and you put dry food out, he's not going to eat it. But after so many days, he's gonna start starving, and next thing you know, he's gonna eat that dry food because he needs food, right? He needs nutrients. And so he's
yeah,
going to accept what's put in front of him, even though it's not necessarily what he wants. So in that scenario, the dog would be us, the consumers, and the owner would be the music industry as a whole. And so my question has always been,
mm,
is it when you say like, oh, the more soulful or the more conscious artists, they don't get the bag? Is that the design from the industry saying like, yeah, we know you want that kind of food, but we're gonna keep giving you this food, and because we know you just love food, eventually you're gonna buy into it? Or is that the people's fault that we keep proving to them that, yeah, we will eat it, we will pour billions of dollars into these artists, and then what, we won't make a lot of noise about the other artists, or why you don't have them out, or where's their marketing push, or you need to play him on the radio or her on the radio more often? Who do you think is the largest contributor to that narrative?
the people. All of us, all of us. You and I, musicians, rap, done all that thing. Right
Yeah.
now, we could just as easily be doing A&R or be a marketing exec at a record company or whatever. We're all part of the same business as such, and basically, it's all of us because of within all of us is sin,
Huh.
is that kind of that good versus evil type of tug of war within us.
Yeah.
You know what's going to hit, what's going to make money, what is morally right. I believe a lot of the execs in labels who be there bopping their head to some music that is really not that great, especially for young people.
Uh-huh.
In their heart, they're not really necessarily rotten to the core or bad people, but it's just that they have a powerful influence. See
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I read a quote today or yesterday, which was really great, and it said something. It says something. I paraphrase, but it says something like, "Don't forget, when it's hard to pray, force yourself to pray because of be aware that there's something within you that's forcing you not to pray."
Hmm.
And what I took that or took from that was there's a battle going on in the spiritual realm that we're not really necessarily aware of or privy to, not all the time anyway.
There's a
And
war
the
going
minute
on
we take our
outside
foot
no
off
man
of
is safe from.
exactly, you can run but you can't have forever from these, right?
Yeah.
Classic. They got RIP Prodigy,
Prodigy. Prodigy.
who I was thinking about only the other day actually because I saw an interview on TV with him and as a fellow sickle celler, I have sickle cell trait. He
Hmm.
had sickle cell really bad, so that's why
Yeah.
he was in and out.
Yeah.
Eventually took him out, same as T-Bars from TLC.
Hmm. Yep.
But anyway, yeah. What I was saying is
You
whether we
talk.
know it or not, there's that inner battle going on for our souls as such. And
Yeah.
like I say, as Christians, if we don't press in to God and the Word and the goodness and all that good stuff, then that other side just takes over, and then
True.
before you know it, you're in the studio doing whatever, or you're signing off on a record, signing off on a massive budget and a video that's demonic and a horror story, but you're just signing off on it because
Yeah.
of you're not staying aware, you're not staying tapped in. See what I mean?
True.
And that's what it is. And then when the money comes in now, and you start receiving earthly gifts that
Yeah.
you never necessarily had before, or your gifts increase, then
Yeah.
it makes it even harder. It makes it even harder, right?
Absolutely.
It makes it
Absolutely.
makes it even more difficult.
Yeah, people don't realize that. Like it's easy when you don't have those kind of checks or those kind of opportunities, those kind of relationships standing in front of you to say like, "Oh yeah, I would never, sell out. I would never, do this just for money. I'm gonna stay true to." It's easy. It's a lot
Yeah,
easier
exactly,
than when you can see the six-figure check across the table when
exactly.
when they're talking about the multiple album deals and the touring spots and the commercial spots and the marketing with the award show and everything that you could have dreamed of and more, and you looking at all these different cities and countries around the world that you're going to go and perform, and you're going to be on a card with some of your greatest artists. And yeah, yeah. Stay true then, because that's when it's tough. It's tough to walk out that door and go back to how am I going to pay rent this month? It's it's
Yeah,
tougher than you think.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. And the dark side
yeah, absolutely.
knows this, and can give you all that stuff to keep you on his team.
Yeah,
It's tough. It's a now that I'm older and I'm more, I guess a little bit more wiser, which one should be.
yeah,
Um, I think it's a hell of a choice to make, um, because of the point. the point, say the point I'm at right now, I'm in Barbados because my father's sick. Okay,
Mhm.
so I'm glimpsing. I have small babies I've brought into the world or were brought into the world in the last, say, 5, 6 years. Two
Mhm.
small babies. I'm blessed. I'm grateful. I'm also seeing now my father on the other end of the spectrum where he's older, he's not well, laying down. You know, God knows how many days, months, or years he has left. But I'm seeing the complete other side, and I'm realizing that you know all the distractions and all the stuff that goes on in life in between. We have to be very very careful of, because of when we get to that point now where he's at right now.
Yeah.
None of that. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
None,
Yeah. Not
none
at
none
all.
of the none of the stuff or material stuff amounts. It doesn't amount to anything.
True.
There's no value in it. None. See,
Zero.
I mean, yeah, you're gonna leave it all behind, and you're gonna give it to sometimes. All right, you give it to your kids or whatever, but sometimes you leave stuff for people. Sometimes people leave stuff for nobody, like the government,
Yeah.
literally, or
Yeah.
or to people that didn't even love them while they were around. See what I mean?
True.
But either way, the bottom line is it's gone, and it's just you left, and then the passage to where you're going to be,
Yeah.
which as a Christian I believe that's with the Lord. You know what I mean? Providing everything goes well. I mean, the Bible doesn't make it as guaranteed or as simple,
Yeah.
but I have hope for everybody. So leave that one there. But
But you know what's very interesting about the kind of the paradox that you just, or the paradigm that you just presented, where you're talking about your babies who are in their
mm,
earlier part of life, and then your father who's on the
mm,
backside of life, and then you talked about the distractions in the middle. What's
mm,
interesting is that for both sides, the beginning and the end, that the stuff doesn't mean anything to either one of them. It's not just your
mm,
dad. It's not
mm,
just when you're done, you're like, oh man, all that stuff was worthless. I can't take this stuff with me, blah, blah, blah. It's like, and as
mm,
a kid, you also could care less about all that stuff. There's no value in it. So it goes back to like, our original essence. We know what's valuable, but
mm,
somewhere throughout this journey we get pulled and tugged and tricked into all these things that
mm.
really have no value at all, like you said.
Yeah,
and and
and
it's
as you
hard to stay
and I,
connected to those things.
yeah, exactly. And in the West, obviously, America, Britain, Canada, other countries, it just is way more prevalent than some places.
Right,
Some
right.
countries in Europe still have good family values. I know some countries in Israel and places in Africa. A lot of them countries still have a lot of values where the stuff in between doesn't distract to a point where it pulls people completely out of that kind of godly, spiritual, grateful, family-oriented zone. You know what I mean? It doesn't pull them, but in America and England, young people are getting yanked out of that completely. Whereas they don't believe in no God, they don't care about their family. Fathers are obviously highly absent in many households. Single mums doing their best. A lot of different elements creeping in, confusion, all this other stuff creeping in, and it's very tough. So yeah, basically back to the main question. Rihanna's bringing that to the
Shame on
youth,
you, Rihanna.
especially female,
Shame on you.
especially females as well. See what I mean?
Yeah, I can imagine. And
And
females,
she'll
what
she'll she'll
they
say
dictate.
she'll say a few. Sorry, carry on.
I was just saying, but yeah, females will dictate the direction of a culture very easily,
Yeah.
because men look to, we're trying to get to the females, and so those shifts that females make, we kind of respond in kind, and so that makes
Mm,
sense.
exactly. Exactly. And she'll say a few kind words or a few words here and there, just like lip service to sound, you know, right.
Yeah,
But you know, the fruits of her work overall, it's that. I mean, if you look at even if you look at her Fenty line, which is what's taken her over the edge to becoming a billionaire, net worth wise. Her brand, Savage, Fenty. If you go and see all that stuff, if you go and see all that stuff in the stores and everything, it's dark, man. It's very dark.
It's very dark. It's very dark. I still applaud her for, just making business moves. I try my best to um, keep in mind that, an artist, when they start expanding a brand, when it gets away from their artistry, they become very much like how you look at the president of the United States. They're kind of like the front man. You know what I mean? They're kind of the face of this bigger movement that some of it they may have, very direct um, influence on the direction and choices, other things a little less. And, it kind of just turns into a grouping of their brand that, maybe there are some t-shirts out there that they don't completely know every design. They kind of had an idea of the direction that the designer was going to go, but did they see all, 78 designs? Maybe not. And so maybe some stuff kind of slipped through or whatever the case is. So I don't know. I kind of keep that in mind to not put it completely on them. But even in so, just still saying like the fact that she made it from Barbados to billionaire status to being, the Commonwealth representative of travel, where she is at the airport, like, like that says
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah, exactly.
You
Yeah,
know?
no, I mean, all power to her. She's definitely, she's definitely done her thing. It's a hard one because of part of the. I almost feel like part of the wealth and the success and the raising up
Yeah,
is connected to what you're doing,
that's
like
true. That's
connected to what your influence is having over people
yeah,
at large. See what I mean?
yeah, yeah. I agree with that.
It's like it's like Kim Kardashian. She's almost a billionaire or whatever. Think about what she's done at large to a
Hmm.
culture, to a people. She's got women having fake butts, fake breasts,
Yeah,
lip injections, fake
yeah,
eyebrows, spending all day gazing into a camera, insecure, gazing into their camera, taking pictures on Instagram, trying to be an Instagram model, whatever. She like Kim Kardashian's personally contributed to that world
yeah,
immensely. There's no way anyone can deny that. And this is just a fact. So it's not a pop at her personally. I don't, I'm not popping personally. I'm just stating what's out there.
yeah,
She's like, she changed that. The whole selfie thing and her name are synonymous together. She kind of changed that whole thing. And now she's almost a billionaire. Think about it.
true.
Now I don't want to sound too like airy fairy or conspiracy theorist type of way, but maybe there's a tie-in. Maybe there's a tie-in to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because of
yeah,
there are not as many of people doing real good wholesome, teaching women to not get pregnant young and not even have sex if possible because of you could save that for hopefully the right guy. Low body count is a good thing. See what I mean? You still there? Something distracted me.
yeah. You see that?
What'd you put up?
That's a photo of Rihanna saying "Welcome to Barbados" at the airport.
Okay, you got it. Yeah, exactly.
had had to pull
Exactly.
that up. Had to pull that up. That's
Yeah.
huge. That's really huge. And and
Yeah,
and you're
exactly.
right though. You're right. It still deserves to. It still warrants attention and possible critique to see how someone got
Right,
where they
exactly.
are and all of that.
Exactly. And it's not like I said, it's not to tear down the
Right.
individual
Right.
because of the every individual is gonna work out their own path and their own salvation, and they're gonna work out their own how they feel and what they
Yeah.
do. See what I mean?
Yeah.
As you know, like everyone's seeing Kanye go back and forth, back and forth. That's all he's trying to do. He's just trying to work out. He's trying to get it
Yeah.
right. Trying
Yeah.
to. See
He's
what I mean?
trying.
Against the pull of success and money and fame and ego and pride and all these other things.
Yeah.
But yeah, but like I said, it's like I said, when I think of the big names and the ones who are really like money just falling out of nowhere, and then I see their product, sometimes I link it. Sometimes in my mind, I link it to their product.
Yeah, that's true because
I link,
we know that the industry has its evils, and money
yes,
will find its way to further along the agenda of evil all the time. So I don't
right,
disagree. Yeah.
exactly, exactly. So yeah, but that's it. I mean, but yeah, it's like I said, babies are born every day, so there's a lot of beauty, especially in everywhere. But obviously on the island here, there's still a lot of beauty, still a lot of good stuff going on. Obviously, they have every summer they have this thing called, which is to celebrate the end of crop, which obviously sounds really old school, but a lot of the vegetation, organic stuff, foods and everything is
Hmm.
homegrown right here on the island. Obviously, you've got bananas and mangoes and all those good kind of tropical fruits and vegetables growing here on the island. So you have your seasons, your harvest, your
Yeah.
planting, your harvest, and then the end of harvest. And every end of harvest, they have the equivalent to like a carnival, like
Nice.
a yeah, like a like a carnival where everyone street
Yeah.
parades and
Celebration.
events. Right, exactly. So that's one good thing you could look out for to come here for. I think it's like end of August every year. Um, and then yeah, there's other than that, there's it's all good. There's loads of brilliant hotels, all kinds of price ranges. They got Airbnb here and everything. So there's
Now,
Airbnbs.
you know what we want to know
Um,
about? We want to know about the food, because that's one thing about
yeah,
the Caribbean is that there's just these influences from so many different places. You
yeah,
have these amazing, aromas and aromatics that they use. I
yeah,
mean, it's just a beautiful plate. You know what I mean? A
yeah,
beautiful
exactly, yeah.
kitchen all the time. So tell us about the food. Tell us your favorite foods to eat as soon as you get back to
Okay,
Barbados. The restaurants we have to go to, because we ain't got family there like you, where we can just go over to Auntie
okay,
house. We gotta find something.
okay,
So,
okay. So basically, most people are familiar with like Jamaican food, which is jerk chicken, rice and peas. Let's start there, right?
okay.
Jerk chicken, rice and peas. So Barbados is not completely far away from that. Obviously, jerk chicken is popular here. Rice and peas is very popular. That's just West Indian food, like the staples.
And for
But then
anybody that
Barbados
doesn't know,
has
rice and peas is just like rice and beans.
exactly,
I mean,
exactly, just like rice and beans.
just like
Yeah,
rice and beans.
exactly. That'll work. Yeah, and then the jerk factor or the jerk part of jerk chicken is just how it's seasoned. So in
Ah,
other words, the Colonel KFC has his recipe.
yeah.
Jerk is a type of recipe, a hot seasoning, the way it's fried. You can actually buy jerk seasoning in any store as well now, so it's real popular. Any store anywhere in the world.
But does it taste
Um,
the same to you?
no, similar but not the same. No, the chicken here is a lot fresher, I believe, because these are organic, homegrown chickens.
Yeah.
Because it's small island. It doesn't have the meat manufacturing machine isn't the same here as it is in somewhere like America.
Right.
So everything tastes a bit fresher, almost like cleaner for
Yeah.
meat eaters. Um, they love pork here. So, you know, other than the Rastas, the Jamaican Rastas, the Bajan Rastas who for religious reasons don't eat pork, generally the
Hold on, what's a
Christian
ruster?
a Rasta,
Oh, Rasta.
a Rastafarian, yeah,
Got you.
yeah,
Got you.
Rastafarian, yeah.
What makes somebody a
They
Rasta?
they
I know the term Rasta, but I don't know what makes somebody a Rasta, or even what it means for them to be a Rasta.
well basically a Rastafarian is a religion. So a Rastafarian is someone who believes religiously in Haile Selassie as the equivalent to say Jesus, and they believe in the 12 tribes of Judah. It's just like a different version of Judaism Christianity,
Really?
and that's
See,
about
I'm
all I
glad I
can tell you.
asked. I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
yeah, and basically it's out of Ethiopia. So that's its central point. Like Christianity, if you say Christianity is Israel,
Uh-huh.
Rastafarianism is Ethiopia, and Haile Selassie is their Allah.
Got it. Now, is it the
and
same? Is it like God and Allah, where it's really the same being, just two different terms from two different cultures, or is it like a different
I don't know.
person?
I'm not sure. I believe it's a different person, but
Okay.
I'd have to check. I'm not sure, but I do know. Just to add what I do know, because obviously I grew up listening to reggae and Jamaica and Rastafarianism.
Yeah.
Part of the look obviously is the not to cut your hair.
Right. Right.
Hence that's where dreads come from. See what I mean?
Interesting.
You know, which is no different to Sikhs. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
in Muslim religion, Sikhs
Right.
they put the hair in the turban
Yeah.
and they don't cut it. You know, and I think even some Jewish Orthodox Jews where they have the ringlets
Hmm.
and they keep their hair long. You see them like in
Yeah.
West Hollywood and everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So it's another one basically,
Yeah. Gotcha.
smaller, obviously a lot smaller. You
Gotcha.
know, reggae music is the music of the religion, and obviously their biggest artist is Bob Marley, who was very spiritual.
I am so glad that I asked that. I had no clue that
Mm.
Rastafarian was like a religion. Not, I had no clue of that at all. I thought it was, uh,
Right.
yeah, I thought it was like, I don't even know what I can equate it to, but I thought it was just more of a cultural term more so than
Mm.
anything else. I didn't even realize that it had so many specifics to who is a
Yeah.
Rastafarian.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
thank
Yeah. No, and
you.
that's like I said. It's small. It's old, but it's still small in terms of knowledge
Yeah,
and information. See what I mean? And like I
yeah,
said, Bob Marley, other than Bob Marley, who died 20, 30 years ago, they don't really have many big spokespeople to talk about the actual culture and religion of Rastafarianism. They don't really have anyone.
yeah.
I don't know if it's a growing or a shrinking religion. I'm not sure. Probably shrinking. Most religions are. Even Christianity is shrinking. But but yeah, they believe certain things. They don't eat certain things. Going back to kind of like Old Testament dietary rules, they kind of follow more of that stuff.
Mm,
Veganism, bigger on veganism and stuff.
yeah.
But that's not really what the mainstay here is here in Barbados. I'm not sure
Okay.
what the percentage would be, but I'm pretty sure there's probably definitely not more than 15% Rastafarianism or Rastas in Barbados. Because as I said earlier, Christian nation mainly. See what I mean?
Yeah.
In Jamaica now, much higher percentage. See what I mean?
Understood. All right. All right.
Jamaica.
Back to the
Anyway,
food. What we
so
eat.
back
What we
back
eat.
yeah, back to the food real quick. So basically pork is huge. So there's one main dish. You can take notes if anyone's watching right now, and it's called souse. Souse, I believe, or Sous. But if you put Souse and then put Barbados souse, and basically that's like boiled steamed pork, um, seasoned and everything. Hot sauce and cucumbers and all kind of different flavoring. Um, and you kind of eat the pig's parts off the bone. If you go into the store, you'll see pig's ears, you'll see pig tongue, all available in the meat section. Which I know to vegetarians and vegans, that's like terrible. See what I mean? They can just about deal with bacon, but no, out here you see the pig chopped up in the rack. You know,
Wow.
um, and then the other big food here, obviously being on an island, is
Hold
fish.
on. So
All kinds of.
is this oh come on. Hold on.
You trying to find something? Yeah, you
Yeah,
found sauce.
I was gonna try to bring it
Yeah.
up. That it?
Yes. Yes.
Gotcha.
That's it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that's a traditional Bayesian dish. Everyone knows it. There's a couple others. Obviously there's one called cuckoo, which is like almost like imagine like flavored mashed potatoes, but then you have it with fish.
Hmm.
So therefore you have
No,
your flavored mash, and then you have fish and gravy, and that's
oh
called
yeah.
cuckoo. Cou. Cou. and that's another
That
big
sounds
dish here.
that sounds great.
Proper here. Yeah, and then another one is anything to do with fish, flying fish, marlin, swordfish. You can get all the fish basically with rice or with whatever you want. In coleslaws. I know those are basically more of the traditionals. They have another one that might be up your street as well, which they called they they make fish sandwiches a lot. So two pieces of bread, hard dough bread. You know what hard dough bread is? It's basically it's bread. It's just basically bread but thicker. Hard dough bread. And then you have like butter or whatever, and then you have a sandwich. It's called a cutter. They call a sandwich like a cutter. And you can go places and get a cutter with a drink, and it's just dope. So yeah, those are just a couple of little things I look forward to when I touch down on the island.
Yeah, I don't I don't know if it cut out on you or not. You kind of cut out on my end when you were describing the bread just now. So just in case it did, can you describe it one more time?
Okay, the bread part.
Yeah.
Okay, the bread part. It's a sandwich, but
Hmm.
it's thicker bread. It's like a bread called hard dough bread, which is basically a more dense type of bread.
Hmm.
Um, and basically they make that like with fish again, chicken, all kind of different things, and that's called a cutter, cutter sandwich.
Kata sandwich.
Have that for lunch type of thing, nice and filling. You
Hmm.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, man. Going through the menus.
Trying to pull it up.
So yeah, exactly. So those are just a couple of the things. How many did I mention? Like four different things, right?
Yeah, yeah. Now you
So yeah,
haven't
those.
told us like, you didn't give us the Waffle House of Barbados yet. So I need to know if I wanted to go and grab one of these traditional
Mm,
dishes. I'm pretty sure I could find them, in many places all throughout the island.
mm.
Especially, if we're just talking getting great fish and, vegetables and things of that nature, rice and peas. But what's the Waffle House, man? Come on, give me the Roscoe's. I need to know where is that one spot that should be the first and maybe even last joint that you visit to get the right cuisine in Barbados, bro.
Okay. Okay. There's one place which is like a fish fry market. Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
It's like a marketplace, and it's imagine like a farmer's market. It's outdoors, all tables and chairs, seating and everything, and that's usually where all the fresh fish comes straight from the boat, straight from the sea, straight from the boat onto the grill.
Mm.
It's called oystins. And every
Oyster?
Friday, especially, it's open every day, but every Friday in particular, they have like a street carnival vibe where they have live music, people on stage performing the local music, which is soca, mixture of soca and reggae, but it's mainly soca. That's the local music. And then that's the best place to eat really fresh tasting, tasty food. It's not like a
Wow.
it's not like a Waffle House. It's not indoors. It's not a
Gotcha.
restaurant. It's not like a cheesecake factory or anything like that. Now, so that's an outdoor experience, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you want a really nice restaurant experience, all up the west coast of the island is all your fly expensive places.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's one called Champers. So if you imagine like champagne, but Champers.
Got it.
There's one called Champers, which is an outdoor restaurant. These are all like this is where you take your wife, your girl, your wife. You know what I mean? You go out there, you have a meal, trying to get your wife or your girl or your wife, and basically you're sitting oceanside now. Caribbean Ocean
Yeah.
view. You know what I mean? You can sit there and enjoy a really expensive meal. Again,
Mm.
it's usually local. It's usually local food, but just done really well. See what I mean? Top chefs,
So you would
just done
say
really well. So
so would you recommend because some places like the hole in the wall cheaper spot, that's where you get the really good stuff. When by the
mm,
time you get to the upscale, they done refined it so much, it don't have that traditional feel. But it
no,
sounds
it's
like you
it's all
gave
it's all good. No, no,
yeah, you sound like you gave a bit of a
yeah,
salute
it's all
to the upscale too.
no, it's all good. The upscale restaurant would be a homegrown local chef who's just come through the ranks and he's just in
Mm,
there. But the food. It's more how it's presented will be a bit neater. You
yeah,
know,
I get that.
how it
I
looks on
get
the,
that.
how it looks on the plate would be more magazine ready.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's it.
It's food
But as
art.
far
By the
but
time you get there, it's food art.
yeah, exactly, yeah. And
Yeah.
then basically all up that coast where Champers is, I can't remember. There's another restaurant called Tides, which is really excellent. Tides as in the waves, excellent food. I've been to about 5 or 6 of them over the years, and they're really an event. They are an event. You know what I mean? Particularly because you're on the Caribbean Ocean. You know,
Yeah, yeah. And that's
so
beautiful.
so
That's
that yeah,
beautiful
that's
in
the
itself.
food. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's the food. Yeah, so it's that's basically it. It's not There's not a massive amount of things you're gonna get into
Hmm.
because it is a small country still. But if you want relaxation, you want ocean, you want great meals, you can go to quite a few parties. Which I don't know much about the clubs per se because I don't be on that scene like that. But you can definitely go out and hear a lot of live music, reggae, soca, jazz, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and then if you time it right with the right time of year, there might be something here like a jazz show or crop over show or whatever. So yeah, Barbados is first way Europeans, English, Germans, French. They love it here. They love it here. I don't hear Americans talking about Barbados so much as a
I mean,
destination.
probably
When
because of
it,
what you said earlier, like the Jamaicas and the Grand Turks, Turks and Caicos, all of that is like so
mm,
much more popular,
mm,
to Americans. So we probably just overlook it. You know what I mean? You just don't. I mean,
mm.
I did put it in a song. Go down to Barbados just to get some local mangoes or something like that. I said, and like this song I did called Mr. International a long time ago, just talking about flying to all these countries
Mm,
and absorbing the culture. But yeah, it's not
mm,
a place that you really hear about, either in TV shows or movies or songs. That kind of, pop culture really runs America and like how they do things.
mm,
So when they hear Jay-Z talk about a new watch, it's like, oh, that watch is lit. And they hear,
mm,
Beyonce talking about she's doing this tour and she's making all these stops in this country. It's like, oh, that country must be amazing. So it's like, the
mm.
pop scene definitely pushes people's interest in the outside world. And I feel like Barbados just, it ain't really got that shot. I mean, Rihanna does what she does, but even that, she's not,
Yeah,
she ain't
she doesn't
really
push it. Yeah, she,
yeah.
yeah, she don't push it. She don't push it super hard.
Nah,
I
not at
get
all.
it. And
Not at
funny little tidbit as well, which is funny. ASAP Rocky is also heritage from here too.
all. Oh, really? Oh, so
Yeah,
that's probably another thing they gelled on.
yeah, exactly. And I only found
Yeah,
that out when I read his middle name, which is Athelston, which is the same as my middle name, spelt slightly different, but the same middle name.
interesting.
So it's kind of a weird middle name. So I was like, when I saw his middle name, because they gave one of their kids the same middle name. That's when I realized that,
Ah,
oh, ASAP has Bayesian heritage. But
that's
yeah,
pretty
so
cool,
that's
man.
that's
That's pretty cool. Well, overall,
yeah,
man,
man.
I know that you're there on not the most desirable terms. Um,
Yeah,
but I'm praying that you're having a good time and able to still kind of get away to enjoy the countryside as much as possible and enjoy the family because I know that's always a benefit. It's usually moments of despair, unfortunately, that really bring families together. But to me, sometimes I'm like,
yeah,
hey, at least
exactly.
we're
Yeah,
together. You know what I mean? At least we're together, regardless of the reason.
yeah, exactly. And that's what it was when I was here. I was here a few months back. A couple months ago, I was here, and I had my daughter here, my sister here, and my nephew.
Hmm.
And it was almost like, even under the circumstances, it's a beautiful thing that we happen to be standing here right now
Yeah,
on this soil. You know what I mean?
yeah,
In this moment.
yeah.
Um, and it's yeah, it's
And together,
it's definitely Yeah, and together. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
not on Zoom. You know,
Um,
we live in the Zoom world now. Not on Zoom.
yeah.
I can reach out and touch you, give you a hug. You know, get something off
Mm,
your face. You got a little lint right there. I can connect with you.
that's what I mean. Huge difference. I mean, Zoom is great, but it's not even 10% there in terms of actually really feeling somebody and
Yeah,
being together with your family and spending time.
right.
And it's tough
Especially,
because of like I said, I've immigrated to America. You know, my sister's now in London, got some family here. You know, everyone's everywhere,
yeah,
and it's tough because that's the only way. You know, you basically moving to me is part of expanding. So for the individuals who move around from different places, even if you're searching for something, or you're gathering different bits of experience and knowledge along the way, it's definitely expanding you. See what I
yeah.
mean? As opposed to staying in one town where you were born necessarily, and literally that 2 or 3 mile radius being everything you know, which does happen to some
True,
people.
true.
So that's the upside to taking the plunge and just leaving. Whereas the downside is you're gonna miss people, they're gonna miss you. You know, while I'm here now, I miss my family in LA,
Yeah,
my kids, my wife.
yeah,
You know, you whenever you go somewhere, you like your heart is taken
yeah,
apart a little
yeah.
bit, just a little
So
bit, you
true.
know. But to succeed, you know that's a that's definitely one of the sacrifices to succeed.
Yeah,
Moving around, you know what I mean?
we got to do it. We got.
Career move or whatever it is.
I
Yeah.
think some are called to move, some are called to stay, and you know there's growth in both. You know what I mean? There's growth in connecting back to the ones that stayed because they're gonna have a different experience kind of being in that place that you call home, watching it grow, watching it build, watching things change. They're able to articulate to you how the area is changing, what thing, you know, they might even try to get into the local politics of that area to try to, you know,
Mm,
help it move in a certain direction. Then there's also a benefit in the people that leave because maybe they come back with new information and new ideas and you know
mm,
they go
yeah.
see and find things in the rest of the world and bring them back. And so I think there's a great
Yeah.
beauty
Yeah.
in the balance of that. The hard part is like what you said when the what's at home starts to change and you start to lose the essence
Mm,
of it. And then it's like, well, there's nothing to bring back, and the people here are changing, and so now we're losing those roots. And you know,
mm,
prayerfully, Barbados is able to find those the strength in those roots again before those you know those ancestors become the gone, and then now it's like a whole
mm.
new country that's unfamiliar. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Change is inevitable, so just hope for good change. Yeah,
Well,
man.
my
So
guy, I appreciate you. I'm not gonna hold you, you know, too long. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to tap in with you. Uh, you know, anything else you wanna chime in on before we get out of here, or if I let you get back to the family? I know you probably can, you
yeah,
know,
no,
smell the
yeah.
goat cooking from where you at.
I actually made some stuff. I actually cooked today, so I cooked
Yeah,
chicken though. I kept it, you know what I mean?
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
curry goat is another big one. Curry goats, man. Oh man. Um, but no, nothing major to drop on you right now. I mean, just happy to be on the pod is good cast again
yes,
from
sir.
another place. Um, always good to see you, man. I know you're up to a few
Oh,
episodes now, so hopefully it's spreading. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Spreading. You
man.
know,
Yeah,
I listen to podcasts. I listen to the cast. I've seen a few of them, so you have some good people on there.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, we'll surely catch up on another one soon.
We definitely will. We'll have a new topic for y'all, a new direction. Who knows? Maybe a new country. We'll see. You see, I'm
Right,
outside the studio right now. I'm in lot B. I keep telling people
right.
I had to go to lot B of the studio and switch things up, you know, just to keep
Mm,
the show going. So, you know, we're gonna be right here. We're gonna keep tapping in. And bro, I love you to death. Tell the family I said, you know, I send my love and prayers. Hope all is well. Hope dad is feeling good, listening to his favorite music. You know what I'm saying? You
yeah,
know, you
yeah.
need that.
We've been playing some '50s music the other day.
That's what's
That's
up.
his group.
That's what's up.
Late
That,
'40s, early '50s. Took
yes, sir.
it back.
All right, my
All
guy.
right,
One last time. Pod is good.
all the time.
And all the time.
Party's good.
There you go. My guy, I'll holler at you.
All right, one.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 35 of the Pod is Good podcast. My guy Roger Drake's all the way in from Barbados. Hopefully, you learned a lot about the country. I did not know that about Rastafarians. I thought that was just a term like the best thing I can equate it to is like, oh, that's the homie. You know what I mean? That's my roster. Like that's all I thought it was. So forgive me for my, lacking of understanding. But that was dope. That was beautiful. Hearing about the food, the places, the people, the religion. That was a good episode. I enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to the channel. Stay connected with us. Continue to follow the movement. The notorious PIG is here to stay. I'm your man, Cashmere, California, and this has been episode 35 once again. And when I tell you we'll be back, you can trust we'll be back. Love y'all. Be safe. Go do something nice for somebody you don't know. I holla.